Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Patdees and this is the Traveling Picker. So I've been wanting to make this video actually for a couple days. So before I forget about it and I have this thought on my mind, I wanted to talk about, basically I have this concept of a store within a store. And what does that mean? Well, I hope you will listen all the way through. I hope you will provide feedback, comment below. And how are your eBay sales doing this month of March? As of now, I'm taping this and I'm going to get this video out hopefully right away today. It says I'm up 2.9% this month over last month. So that's nothing. That could be a rounding error. So let's get into it and talk eBay. Okay, we're back. I'm recording this actually. I just got back from dropping my packages off at UPS and USPS, and I've been busy. People say, Pat, what you been doing? Where you been? Just dealing with some issues here at home, and just haven't had time to really necessarily record videos. And I don't want to necessarily just make videos just to make videos. But I do think that, YouTube is important about learning from one another and networking. And that's really a lot of times the focus is not always glizz and glamour, selling online. But the thing I want to really talk about today, and I was talking about this private hangout in a private hangout the other day, and I wonder now anymore, and this is a question I have for other resellers, I have for people that do. Really, it's more about a question of even for buyers, but even sellers. There's always, I sell on eBay and Amazon, and there's always this psychological issue with eBay that there's a trust issue, or is it used stuff on there's a lot of new stuff that gets sold on eBay. And a lot of people don't even realize many times items can be bought cheaper on eBay than they can on Amazon. Now, that's not always the case. Sometimes I see things listed on Amazon. I'm saying, how the heck could they sell it so cheap there? When if you factored in shipping and fees, you would actually lose money. So there are those rare cases that over on eBay, sometimes certain things are a little bit higher. Why? Who knows? The market is the market. It is what it is. But what I want to talk about today is a concept that I wish eBay would consider, and I'm hoping that maybe this gets enough views that maybe eBay will think about it and say, that's a good idea. And a lot of times they call you think with the college, the people that go to college there would kind of, what? Maybe we could try that with some test stores or use it as an option and charge for it. But my concept is, and I think about this a lot, are you a niche seller or are you an all-around seller? Some people who maybe not know what a niche means you sell in a certain category or a certain product. For example, I used to be in the restaurant business. Diners, and I'm going to give the analogy, diners are like the Walmart. They sold everything. Diners could sell you spaghetti and meatballs, grilled cheese, a steak, and a lobster dinner. Especially a lot of your Greek diners. But what has happened, and it also happens in the retail, is niche, meaning a shoe store only sells shoes. Foot Locker, they're only going to sell sneakers. Maybe they'll sell some shirts, but that's it. You're not going in there to buy a pot and pan set at the Foot Locker. In the restaurant business, if you see what's happening now, a lot of people are niching. You got Subway selling sandwiches, McDonald's selling burgers, Chick-fil-A selling chicken sandwiches, Olive Garden selling pasta and salad, Red Lobster, seafood, Texas Roadhouse steak. What my concern is, and this is what I want to hear people comment in the chat, is what do you sell? What do you don't have to tell me specific, but do you sell all around, or are you a person that just deals in clothes? Are you a person that just deals in jewelry? I'm an all around seller right now. But as I've been went to full time 4 years ago selling on eBay. I wonder if selling all around actually hurts a person. But people say, well, Pat, if you think that, then why don't you just sell one item? Because I became full time 4 years ago, but I really put a lot more energy into it the last 9 months. And it's very hard sometimes to find, let's say, for example, shoes. Let's say I want to sell shoes. It's very hard to find a product, shoes, that would be consistent year round and all the time. But you might find shoes, let's say in July, but in August you might find, ceramics, you might find baseball cards. So I saw a lot of variety of things. As I have started to list every day, my sales have gone up. But my concern is, and in listening to other people and who do niche, and I see the volume that they do, and I put myself in the customer's head. Will a person take the time, and do they fully understand that they can look through categories? Now, you can say that as a seller, that we know that, meaning the eBay categories or your store categories. Like Walmart, you got the produce department, you got the frozen department, you got the meat department, you got the toy department, you got the clothing department. Do buyers know that they can, or do they not want to go looking through all that? So if I'm in there, for example, looking to buy a baseball card, do I want to look at pots and pans? Do I want to look at shirts? Do I want to? So I wonder if eBay has done a study that people that niche do actually better than people that sell all around. Mike and I had this conversation the other night with a friend of mine, and Eric, and he sold, for example, a painting. Now, it was an expensive painting, but imagine someone who goes on eBay and wants to buy even higher end stuff, and then all of a sudden they see, a muffler, a lady's pants set, and oh, this is a guy just selling junk out of his garage. But if it's wow, this guy just sells all kinds of art. Let's say I'm a person who likes art, and wow, look at that art. I look, oh shit, he's got, excuse my language, he's got a muffler there. He's got, oh, this is just some guy selling, So that psychological perspective of the seller, I think, sometimes could be tarnished by selling all that mixture of stuff, or people just don't want to take the time to go through searching. So there's where I wish, what happens is a lot of people I know, they'll set up like a second store. But what happens is when you set up a second store, you can't sell as much. You have to prove yourself. Even though you could be on your main account for 20 years. Like I have that issue right now. As I've gotten better and listing and fulfillment and really getting above standard feedback, etc., I'm able to sell $600,000 worth of items. It went from, I remember like a year ago, I'm at over 4,000 listings right now, and the goal was to hit the 10,000, which my store is. Now they upped it to 20,000, but it doesn't matter because you're still going to have to pay after that 10,000. But what I would like to do, I wish I had the ability to open up another store underneath sort of my general account, where, let's say, for example, I would do clothing, and Patdees would do clothing. And what I'd like to see, let's say you click on a pair of pants, and maybe before you go into your checkout, maybe it would say, hey, do you want to buy a shirt or a pair of socks with that? Sort of like a suggestion, and my stuff would pop up, a shirt in that size or something matching. Where I think what happens, I know myself, like I've bought a shirt just recently from somebody, and I'll look, oh, I wonder what other shirts he's got in my size. Do I want to look through a muffler, pots and pans and toys and things like that? No. But I also think about the person who, I imagine, I wish I could take, and I hope I'm not making this real complicated, that everyone who's listening or watching this understands exactly what I mean. And imagine having a main store, and I sell clothes. Think about it like a mall. When you walk into the mall, you could have Victoria's Secret, you could have a tobacco store, you could have a leather purse store, and but they could be owned by the same company and you don't even know. Like even like Darden restaurants, they own like 5 restaurant concepts, but they're, they don't mix them under the same roof. They may own Olive Garden and own Red Lobster and own a steakhouse, but they're all in their own roof under their own concept, because the people that want a niche or buy or want pasta night, they go for that. So I could imagine like me having a clothing store, and then sub off, there would be like a different link. Do you want to check out, the toy store? And I know you can say, well, you can kind of do that, but you got to know how to navigate through the categories. And what happens is when you newly list stuff, or you do list stuff, it's going to show everything that you just listed. So I just wonder, and this is just a thought. I'm not saying, I'd love to experiment with this. Like right now, I spend $60 to have my store. I wish I could, imagine you could subcategory off into 5 stores. And even if you paid a little bit more, I'd be up for paying $5 or $10 more to branch off, and you would get one email. So it would still come. Now, if you want to open another store, you got to have a different email. You can't have both eBay stores open in the same app on your phone. So you can't do like, well, that one's going to open. I would like to that if a person came in and checked out Patdees' toy store, that's all they would see. They would see the toys, and there would be somehow on there, hey, are you interested in, and they could click on maybe at the top there would be little emojis or arts or thumbnails that would be the 5 stores, and you would click it on. Now maybe I still run a Walmart type where everything is in there, but I'm able to have like a toy store, a comic book store, a baseball store, a baseball cards store, and really be able to. I wonder how much more I would sell. That's and I think it would. Actually, I like the idea of doing that. I think that's why some people do other stores. But the problem is right now, I can't. If I go over like and sell in a new store, I'm only going to get 10 items, 50 items. Roughly $1,000. So I can't use that goodwill I have on my main store to go and open up another store. And again, you got to have different emails, and I like to be able to go in and still have the metrics that would count against the feedback, not start off from 0 again. So tell me, guys, what do you think? I hope I didn't explain it that you're confused by it. Think niche. A concept that a niche is a concept that basically one category. If you're selling shoes, or you're selling comic books, you're selling baseball cards, or are you like a Walmart? Are you selling everything in there? I think it's people, if you see, what happens is you niche too. Once you do, like, because once you list, like when you list, do you try to list? When you buy a bunch of stuff, do you try to list similar things at the same time? Or would you do a baseball cards, a muffler, and a pair of pants? Me personally, I like to, if I'm going to be on the roll, for example, like postcards, I want to list 30 postcards at one time. I'm going to list 20 magazines at one time. I'm going to list pants at one time. Only thing that happens is when you do that, and also it happens is when you have, because if you list like 2 pair of pants, 2 baseball cards, and then you put it all in one, you're actually mixing that stuff up. It's much easier if I keep the postcards together, if I keep the pants together. Now, do I have totes that has mixed inventory? Of course I do, and that's actually what makes it sometimes harder to find. But it is what we're used to. It is what we do. So I appreciate you guys listening and hearing me out. Tell me what you think. I welcome feedback. These are discussions that I think we should have as resellers, and give feedback to eBay, and tell me what you think. And if you guys do me a favor, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Click the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you nothing. And give me a thumbs up, and definitely looking for comments today. Thanks again. See you guys.